Peace, 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 my fellow PFGs. Freeform 64 here, and I wanted to make a quick video. Well, it may not actually be quick, but a video just discussing some things that I've seen in the game industry as of late. My thoughts on a few different things when it pertains to the Xbox brand, PlayStation, where they're going, Nintendo, their success in a few different games. So join me, and hopefully you guys enjoy the ride.
PFG, bring the game.
So hope you guys can bear with me as the noises and the music is playing. But yeah, let's go ahead and start this video. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Xbox brand starting off. Well, again, I said I'll talk about the Xbox, PlayStation 4, and the Switch. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Xbox brand. What I want to talk about first is Sea of Thieves and my take on the whole game itself and what Microsoft and Rare's approach is with the game. So I like to say I think that the game has potential to be a good game. But with that said, the way that they released this game, I just don't agree with. I do see where they were going as far as business is concerned. They released the game bare bones. They just released Game Pass, so it was a problem reaction solution. And what it is the game is charging $60 for a bare bones game, which is ridiculous. So the immediate response to the problem would be the reaction of, this is ridiculous, this is a ripoff, there's no way I would pay that. But I do want to play this game, I'm very interested. So naturally a person would go, hey man, you can check this game out for free by subscribing to the Game Pass for 10 bucks. Dude, it's worth it, it's totally worth it. Solution. So it migrates people from purchasing the games as they've been used to purchasing the games, be it physically or even digitally, for the standard price, to now going completely digital and going to a subscription-based model, which is something they're trying to migrate people to. Problem reaction solution, and it's happening. You can see it in the Twitter feeds. Everybody's talking about it. Man, I use Game Pass. I use Game Pass. I use Game Pass. So that's what they're trying to do: migrate everybody to Game Pass. And again, with that, this game was completely designed to be a games as a service game, and Rare is Microsoft's most underutilized, I guess you will say, underutilized team in their stable. So this is their first real AAA, front game that's not like a totally gimmick game, if you will. And this is the first time really taking on that business model, where it's games as a service is what their new approach is. And so I said in a previous video where I was watching the Inside Xbox, the model is basically to get players wrangled up inside, this new IP and this new model, get them used to the kind of gameplay loop where they're creating their own game, if you will, because there's really nothing there, and then slowly seed things in that you'll have to pay for to make the game more exciting. You're already caught up in the gameplay loop. You've already invested a ton of hours. You've already convinced yourself that this is a lot of fun and it's worth your time. You've already got the subscription, so you're not thinking, hey, I just wasted $60. You're like, it's only 10 bucks a month. It's throwaway money, right? So you're locked in, so you might as well, and it becomes a standard thing. It's almost similar to how we've gotten used to playing or buying games digitally. When the digital front came out, people were totally against it. Now, digital sales are reaching or surpassing, even on the Nintendo Switch, physical sales. So this is a new model, this is a new approach. This is actually what Microsoft was trying to do from the jump, but they realized they had to seed it in. So this is their next move, completely moving away from physical games and going to a totally subscription-based games as a service model. And they're going to continue this process with Rare completely, and there are other companies going to follow suit. There are other development teams. Now, Rare is also trying to develop their own new legacy, because this is not the same Rare that we knew from the Nintendo 64 days. This is a completely new Rare. Of course, some of these guys have been with the team for a while now with Microsoft, but they're a new team as far as us older games know them from Nintendo 64 days, GameCube and all that. Well, not even GameCube, but Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo days, right? And what they're trying to do is build their own legacy, if you will. They kind of want to keep the imagery and, of course, use the brand recognition to draw people in, but they definitely want to create a new legacy that the team that's there now can say, this is us, this is what we are, recognized for, and this is the kind of games that we want to, rehash out over the years, because we did this. I think they're kind of annoyed by the idea that, you know, people want them to make the perfect darks, the Banjo-Kazooies and whatnot from the past, because they don't have any attachment to that. They don't even know how to do that. As you can see, these guys don't even really know how to complete a full game, down to the point where the Kraken in the game, I mean, in Sea of Thieves, isn't even a complete model. I mean, that's ridiculous. And if you're watching this Microsoft or Rare, that's bullshit. You know, I'm calling you out on your shit. That's fucking horrendous. You could have at least completed the models in the game. But I understand what you guys are trying to do, you know. And that's, I don't agree with it, but I see the business. And that's, whatever, that's what you guys are doing. Now, I don't think the game is going to be horrible, but I don't think the game, like I said in the video prior, is a game that's a standalone, big AAA hit that can move the Xbox on its own. It's a game that should have had big games around it to elevate it. And its saving grace is, again, that Game Pass. So this game is kind of a, again, it's a problem reaction solution. Draw players to Game Pass, get them in a subscription-based model, get them in a games as a service model, wrangle them up, find our whales, and drop them motherfuckers in the water. You feel what I'm saying? Whales, that's the people who spend the big money they shouldn't be spending on a video game. You'll see. So anyway, moving on from that, games as a service I've already spoken about. This is what Microsoft's new approach is. They see that they cannot succeed in dropping AAA exclusive games that people are really attached to and they want to keep. They've gotten a few, but they're getting dry, they're getting old. They haven't really spun them in different ways. Like, you know, you have people that talk about Mario being a rehash game after rehashed game. But if you look at the different Mario games, there's always something new and fresh brought to the table. There's all kinds of different, there's Mario RPG, there's Mario Party, there's so many different variations on the Mario franchises that are fun and that are brought back and again, built upon, built upon, built upon. Legend of Zelda, same thing. Metroid, same thing. You know, we can continue the franchises and look at how they've been built upon and made fresh, new, and exciting to where every franchise or every IP has their own specific fan base. Like, there's some Mario players who love the 2D Mario. There's some Mario players like myself who love the 3D Mario. I'm not a huge fan of the 2D Mario, but when we get into 3D Mario, we're talking. You know, so Mario Odyssey for me was the game I was waiting for. The Mario 3D World on the Switch or on the Wii U, it wasn't something that I was looking for. I was like, it looks alright, but I'm not really into that type of Mario. And not to say it's a bad game, but I'm a different Mario fan, you see. Whereas in Halo, there's just Halo. And in Forza, there's a split, but they're the same. I mean, Forza Horizon is Forza Horizon, and Forza Motorsports is Forza Motorsports. There's no real variation there. And Gears of War is just Gears of War. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real spin-offs that are like big and fun or big new evolutions to the games that make it like, yo, this is way better than the previous one. So you're kind of getting a rehash of the same thing, like literally. So they can't really compete in that space. And they've tried. They've had 17 years, 3 generations now. So this is not their first rodeo. This is not their first hurrah or whatever. No, they've tried. They cannot penetrate the market that way. But what they can do is create this online network where people are devotees and they will spend so much time on any game that they play. There's so much time and energy. And they see that people are willing to drop money. And they're big on that games as a service model. They want that because there's reoccurring income there that they can definitely latch onto. They have the infrastructure for that, you know, and I don't think that they really care where you get it, but they want to be able to get it from you. So that's a big thing for Microsoft. And speaking of that, we're going into E3 and we see that Microsoft is the only company that is not going to be inside the building where all the other companies will be showing off their new games and whatnot. And that shows me a sign of a real big change coming with Microsoft. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Microsoft is actually going to start going into an app service with the Xbox brand because they've already started building it into a Windows platform. So it has the same kernel. And that is going to allow them to mobilize their gaming service, you know. That's why they've been doing so many changes and everything, so it can be something that can be transferred onto any platform that they put it on with ease. They're trying to, you know, develop something again that just be moved around, you know, and they're trying to use that as their service. You know, they're trying to compete with these other companies like Amazon, for instance, and that's the big way to do it. So this is going to be the time where you're going to see that new announcement of Microsoft's new transition as far as their place in gaming is concerned. They're going to mobilize themselves and move off of the fixed platform and, of course, continue to drive sales on the PC and their competing platforms. I don't necessarily think, well, first of all, Nintendo won't have a problem with this. They've already got the Xbox Live service with the Minecraft. So Nintendo, I think, is going to be complicit. They're going to go with it. That's fine. You know, Nintendo has confidence in their IP, so they don't have a problem with that. Sony may be a little bit of a problem, but I don't really think Sony has too much of a problem with that either, because they know that their fan base will continue to buy their platform. So as long as you're buying my platform, hell, I don't give a shit. You know, put your shit on there. That's even better for me. That's Sony has like this ego to where it's like, yeah, we on top. So yeah, motherfucker, you know. But it may not happen with Sony, but I'm thinking it will. It's definitely going to be on TVs, you know. But again, I can see it on the PlayStation, because what Sony doesn't want is to give an excuse or a reason for their potential buyer to stray away from their platform. By putting the Xbox app on the Sony platform, there's more reason to buy their platform. But if we go crossplay, then you don't have to buy my system, and I'm not going to have that. So that's why I don't think it's going to be too much restraint for that. But that's where Xbox is definitely going. And the Xbox One and the Xbox 2, if you will, and from that point on, will be more in line with the Surface Pro line, where the Surface Pro is the best place to utilize the Windows 10 Surface and all that stuff. But you can definitely get another platform to utilize Windows 10, you know. But if you want the best, most optimized, most premium way to play it, this is the place to play, right? So that's what the Xbox consoles will be. They won't totally disappear, because Microsoft can afford to continue the brand, but they're trying to get that money where the games are and where people are playing the games. And so if they're playing it on the Switch, that's where I want to make that money. If they're playing it on the PC, that's where I want to make that money. If I can get it on the TV, that's where I want to make that money. If I can get it on the PlayStation, that's where I want to make that money. That's what Microsoft is all about, selling you services and selling you software products. They're not really into the hardware thing. That's to give you an impression that they're the best, you know, because they need that impression. Apple has given that impression. Apple has an ecosystem that revolves around their products. Microsoft can't do that, unfortunately. They're trying, but this is the best thing for them, because this is where they excel. Now, moving on from Xbox, we're going to be looking at PlayStation. PlayStation has been killing the game right now. People talked about their presentation last year, and I don't think the presentation last year was the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. See, Sony has been doing their damn thing. Nintendo had just came in the game, so they didn't really rock things too much for them just yet. It was undetermined. Nintendo had a hell of a show that year, though. But Microsoft was stumbling all over themselves, talking about exclusive, timed exclusive, console exclusive, whatever. Y'all ain't got shit. We got the shits, you know? So we're confident we can show the same shit and still get away with it. And it was fine, you know? I mean, what do they need to do? They don't really need to do anything. They're already dominating the market, you know? So everybody's just waiting on their shit to arrive, you know? What they really need to push is their VR, which they did, because they need that thing to succeed. Not to say that people are into it, not to say that I'm into what they're pushing, but that's what they needed to push, and they did. Now, this year, the games that they were talking about for so long, for what, 2 E3s, are actually arriving. We're talking about Gears of War being that, not Gears of War, but God of War being that first big hitter. And now you've got, you know, people trying to compare this to Ryse. Now, I can understand where you've got the arena kind of base fighting, it looks like, and, you know, grounded combat, but this looks absolutely nothing like Ryse, you know. And I played through Ryse, and it was good, but that's just gameplay wise. The story wasn't that great, you know. Visuals were okay, they were good, but they were repetitive. This game definitely goes to an entirely new lane. You know, first of all, you have a companion, the son. It's very story driven, you know. It's very cinematic. It's just like God of War, but it's taken to another level, and it's taken in a direction where it's consistent with Sony's first party IPs, and that's what, I mean, it should be that way in a sense. Like, Nintendo's IPs are very consistent. You know, you see their games look like they revolve in the same kind of universe, if you will. You know what I mean? You're not like, oh, this looks nothing like that, and that looks nothing like this. They don't look exactly alike, but they look like they're from the same universe. They belong together in the same staple. That's why a game like what is that? Smash Brothers. Why a game like Smash Brothers can work, because all the characters, they feel familiar. So with God of War, it works for me anyway. You know, I can see how one would want initially God of War to stay like the fixed camera angles, big, huge epicness and all that stuff. But that's old, right? It's outdone. There's new action games that don't do that are much better. And you know, people didn't want Legend of Zelda to change, but look what it did for the franchise. I'm not saying that this game is going to do what Legend of Zelda or what Breath of the Wild did for the Legend of Zelda franchise, but hell, it might. It might do that for them, you know. But I think it looks good. You know, I think they're doing what they've been trying to do, which is create this beastly character and give him some kind of humanity. They're going there. They've got the technology to really go there. And the cinematics are being displayed in a very different angle. So grounding it and bringing it behind the character model, and the combat being so close, it just makes it that much more impactful. You know, whereas the developers did say something about in the previous games, it looks like you're swinging through the enemies, and that's true. They didn't even have what you have more. It even have in this game, kind of slight pause between attacks to kind of give that feeling of impact. You were just, I mean, flying through everything. It was just, they were just kind of, it was just going through them. You didn't really feel like you were, you know, impacting them. Here, you feel that. Every little bit of it is there. So I think that's really cool. And apparently there's this, what is it, non-stop camera angle where there's no cuts and transitions. That's very interesting. I'd like to see how that plays out. And as a father, I don't even have a PlayStation, but as a father, to see the dynamic between the father and the son and him going through his, you know, his past of being war and trying to be a calm and collected father, to understand that the child's not going to really get it, the child's not going to understand. You need to have patience with him. And being a man of war myself, serving in the military and serving during wartime, I can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the god of war, but you know, I've been in war. I've been through the nastiness. I've been through the darkness, and you know, sometimes I don't have the patience, and sometimes I can be ready, just be like, you get it, you understand, you know, and it's like I have to take a moment and breathe and think, hey, it's my child, he doesn't get it. You know, hey, you need to talk to him, be stern, you know, be direct, but be patient and understanding. And I like that about this game. You know, I mean, I'm not really one for the stories all the time in my games, but this is one of those times where it's like, man, I like this. I can connect with this. So I don't think the franchise is doing anything wrong, which some people do. Oh, and the fact that he can't jump. Hey, there's another form of combat, you know. But if I wanted to be funny, I would say this is just another example of a white man can't jump, since, you know, Kratos is definitely white this time. He was questionable then, but now he's definitely white. But you know, he's got a black man voice. But anyway, I think the combat's going to be really good here. I think it's going to be different, and this different approach, I think it'll be enjoyable by definitely a new fan base. I think the old fans will appreciate it, and it's definitely a game that makes me want to get a PlayStation. I don't know if I'll get one this year, but man, this is definitely an appealing game for me. So anyway, the lineup is looking really beefy. You know, they got some good stuff coming up, and at this year's E3, I think they're going to give us 2 surprises, and we're just going to get a little bit more of what we wanted from the previous games. More, you know, Sony. I think the 2 surprises, though, are here because, or will be here because Nintendo is definitely doing some things. They're shaking things up. They're making some real noise out here. So they definitely can't go with what they did last year. They see that they have a real challenge on their hands. And with that said, where the PS4 is having a success in its sales, I think that the PS4 moving forward is definitely going to be in the lines of the PS2, where they extended its life cycle because it was just doing so well. People like the console. And with the Pro, they can just, if they really want to, they can drop off the standard, or they can drop it down to a $99 console and then make the Pro a $200 console, and then just continue selling that as a budget console with 4K capabilities when they bring out their PS5, which is going to have the, you know, the higher end 4K, you know, high fidelity, blah, 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 whatever, at a premium price. I think that that's going to happen with the PS4 moving forward. And I believe that it's going to be a backwards compatible console, the newer one. So anyway, moving from that and going on to the Switch. Now this is the console that I've been playing pretty much all last year. I've like completely cut my Xbox off, and then focused on the Nintendo Switch. Because for my lifestyle today, this is what is more in line with what I got going on. Again, that's why I'm not just hopping onto the PlayStation right now, because it's like I don't really want to sit and just be totally engaged, on the couch when I want to play. But I mean, you never know. I might go ahead and cop one of those because the games are looking really nice. But with the Switch, I can do what I want to do. I can move how I want to move. I've got it with me today. While I'm here, I've got my Switch with me, and it's mobile. I got the complete set. I can jump in and get into some real good gaming. As soon as I'm done with this, I can, do my thing, and then keep it moving, right? So anyway, let's talk about a few things on the Switch right now. So recently there was a reveal trailer of some gameplay to this game, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, which is supposed to be a spin-off of the No More Heroes franchise, to a degree, and an exciting game for those who are fans of that franchise. When the game first came out, when it was first announced that there was a Travis Touchdown game, obviously No More Heroes is immediately what came to mind. And when it was confirmed that No More Heroes was definitely not the game, but it was a Travis Touchdown, or a game with Travis Touchdown being at the helm, but something entirely different, I knew that keep my expectations lower, from what I'm expecting, because he's talking about it's going to be more of an indie game, and he's going to get involved with other indie developers and whatnot. Now, I just watched the 9-minute demonstration of the game, and immediately, visually, the game looks good. It definitely looks like a small game full of mini games, like you're just going through some mini game stages and whatnot. There's pop in and pop out multiplayer or co-op, which is nice. It's really cool. I noticed that the guy, when you saw the trailer, there was the father. I forget the girl's name, the lollipop girl, something like that. I forget. Anyway, so the girl's father that Travis had killed is actually his teammate in this game. So I'm curious about that storyline. Cool. I'm interested. Visually, the game looks good. Travis is like Travis. He's doing wacky, swinging the sword around like he's just a crazy maniac, which that's Travis Touchdown, man. He's inside a video game world. This definitely falls in line with, the No More Heroes kind of idea and the Suda 51 madness. He does crazy things like that. So for me, I like it. There's some different special abilities and things. I want to know more about that. But obviously the gameplay is very simplified, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. What I did have a problem with was the very end of the demo where they showed the boss. Now, I'm not sure if that was the boss, but it seemed like it was a boss battle. Now, when I saw the trailer, the trailer they showed in the recent Direct, I believe it was, it looked like it was going to be some Fury-esque gameplay, fighting that boss. And when I saw them just whacking away at the dude, like he didn't even move, he didn't do anything, he just got his ass kicked, like, I was like, nah, man, that's not cool. That was the end of the demo. So for me, that was a little underwhelming. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but that was a bad demonstration. They should have shown a more difficult boss. But I'm guessing that they just wanted people to get in and get out, play with confidence that they did, something, and can walk away feeling like they've accomplished something, I'd rather see a more difficult, boss battle to show a little bit more complexity to the battle system. So what I want to see in the game is a little bit more complexity. I want to see there being a bit more of a combination system in the game, at least with the boss battles. I did see them using some special abilities and things that I wasn't too familiar with, but I like to see that happen more in the boss battles, and I believe that's going to happen. But again, this demonstration was just underwhelming. Now, I did see my boy Hyperlight Drifter on my boy Travis Touchdown shirt, which was nice. But what I did not see was the relation or the correlation between the two games. Like, where is the relation there? You're supposed to be working with these different indies. Demonstrate how that's going to translate into the gameplay. I mean, maybe I'm not familiar with what game was being utilized for that stage. But, I heard Hotline Miami is supposed to be a part of it. Shovel Knight, Hyperlight Drifter, and I can't remember any other ones at this moment. But where is are the stages, are the enemies? where is the relation there? I saw like a generic kind of level with some generic enemies. And again, I might just not know what game that was, but for me, I didn't see any, you know, relation there. So I want to see more of that. I don't want to just see Travis Touchdown wearing t-shirts, marketing, you know, as a billboard in other games. That's cool, but I would like to see him in a Hyper Light Drifter type of environment and take on that kind of, you know, enemy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that. I want to see him in a Hotline Miami type of environment, you know, taking on those kind of enemies. Again, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but that demonstration did not show me something I was familiar with for me to be like, oh, I get it. So at this point, I'm still in question. I'm still excited about the game. The game looks fun. It looks simple. It looks like there's potential there for more difficulty and a lot of, you know, simple yet effective combo system that you can do to, you know, take on bosses and be creative and be challenged. But right now, I still have a lot of questions as far as that is concerned. At this point, I definitely would like to see the game be no more than $29.99. You're not going to get away with anything more than $29.99. Sorry, but that's just how I feel about it. Moving on. The Messenger. The Messenger. The Messenger. Let's talk a little bit about The Messenger. Ninja Gaiden. Yo, old school Ninja Gaiden. I remember seeing this before, but I saw that in the Ninja showcase that was shown, which was okay. They showed all the good stuff after. So anyway, The Messenger. Yo, I'm really excited about that. I was a huge fan back in the day of the old school NES games, 8-bit era. You know, it was super difficult. I couldn't even beat the games half the time. I was way too young. It was so intimidating. It was so classic. You know, back then the ninja thing was a big deal. So it was just a great game. And the franchise evolved into 3D and all that stuff. And it kind of took a different approach, which is cool, but it definitely wasn't like the classic. So I got into like the Striders and stuff because they kept the 2D kind of, you know, gameplay. But they weren't Ninja Gaiden. They were still like a 3D model in 2D space, and they weren't Ninja Gaiden. So this, The Messenger, yo, it takes that into a modernized, you know, gameplay mechanic kind of way, and keeps it old school. It goes from 8-bit to 16-bit. You know, I love it. I'm in. I'm all in. I'm excited. That's great. It's coming to the Switch, so I'm good. I'm good, man. And then we go to, again, like I said, the Nindy showcase was fun. It was good, but it wasn't amazing. It doesn't have to be amazing all the time. I think we're just spoiled, right? But with that said, after the Nindy showcase, Nintendo just drops it on Twitter that Hyper Light Drifter is coming to the Switch. Hyper Light Drifter making it to the Switch. Now I'm excited about this. This is a dream come true. If you look at my earlier tweets, I'll probably post all this stuff. But yeah, I was saying, Hyper Light Drifter needs to come to the Switch. I was like kind of begging for it. I was like, yo, bring it to the Switch, please. It's just a game that belongs in the platform. It's just a game that is just, it's legendary. It's a modern classic already. The game was done so well visually, audio, gameplay. I mean, it's just the pacing, the boss battles, everything is so good in that game. And I played through it on the Xbox One, but the Switch is the premium console. For me, it's the place to be, so I want that game on my Nintendo Switch, and it's here. So every game since 2017 when the Switch was announced, and we realized what it was, every game that I've asked for to come to the Switch, well, at least indie anyway, that I wanted to come to the Switch is actually here. And those games are Neon Chrome, which those guys went all the way out. They didn't just bring Neon Chrome, they brought everything, 10 tons. They brought everything, I mean, the whole suite. So if you like 10 tons, if you're curious about twin stick shooters, check out Neon Chrome. That game came, I think that was the first one that arrived. And then, yeah, it was the first one that arrived. And then Rocket League, you know, which is one of my favorite sports games, it made it to the Switch. Super excited about that. Game plays beautifully. It's fun. You're cross-playing with everybody else, so you're not left out. And you got Nintendo exclusives, which is cool. And then Fury, which is amazing, made it to the Switch. So excited about that. You know, dreams coming true. And now we're here with Hyper Light Drifter. So Everything that I've wanted has made its way here, and I'm super happy about that. Super happy about that. I mean, everything I've asked for. I gotta put the tweet up so you can see this. This is the truth. Now, let's move on to Super Smash Bros. For the Switch. Now, this is a game that everybody knew was coming, but nobody thought it was gonna come the way that it did, as soon as it did. And this is a twofold topic for me, because this, I'll say, them revealing it now shows Nintendo's confidence in their platform and their lineup moving forward, because they didn't have to wait until E3 to announce this. You know, they didn't have all their eggs in one basket because they got plenty of eggs, so they can have plenty of baskets. So that's a really good thing to see such a large IP. This is one of their biggest titles being announced so early. You know there's some good stuff in the bag. So that's one thing. Another thing I'd like to go ahead and say is that people have been talking about this game as if it were going to be a Wii U rehash. And I'm going to go ahead and say it now. And I'm going to show you my tweet. I said it before. I said it last year. This game is definitely a new game for the Nintendo Switch. You're going to see some familiar things because there's some things that people are going to want. And Nintendo's not afraid to place their audience, especially now. They want to make sure that you get what you want. But we all want a new Smash Bros. It's that time. You know, this is a new platform. They have a new agenda. Their online infrastructure is being rebuilt. So this game needs to showcase that. And so this game is definitely not a holiday title. This game is definitely a new Smash Brothers game, and everybody's on that boat right now. But I'm going to show you my tweet where I said this last year at the end of the year. Nobody believed, well, one person was on my side, you know, but nobody really wanted to hear that. They was like, man, get out of here, yo. You don't know what you're talking about. It's gonna be a rehash. Look at what they're doing. They're porting everything over. No, they're not porting this over, bro. They're not porting it over. So be prepared to see that new game. So I'm just letting you know now that yes, I called this a long time ago, baby. Oh, also I called the Xbox becoming an app service a long time ago. I want to make sure I put that tweet up there too. You know, for those who are really hating and thinking that I'm just like hating on this brand. Like, I've invested thousands of dollars into the Xbox brand. Okay, the only Xbox I haven't gotten this generation is the X. You know, which I might get. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so Smash Brothers is going to be a hit. This E3 is going to be a hit. And speaking of a hit, the Nintendo Switch has been a hit. It's been more than a hit. It's been like a 1, 2, 3 combination of hits. You know? And this year is going to be more successful than last year. The game lineup is going to be greater than its first year. That's guaranteed. What people fail to realize is the generation of gamers have grown up. Now, if you notice, when people talk about what they wanted when they were kids, they wanted the more mature stuff because they wanted to feel like they were more mature. When you're grown, you just want good games to play. And you want to have the opportunity to play them when the time is optimal for you. As an adult, you don't have that kind of time, usually, which especially if you got kids, to just sit down and dig into a game. Sometimes you do, not all the time. So you want to be able to do it whenever you feel right. Like, man, let's go. You know, I'm good. After I'm done with this video, I got a little time. I'm going to jump into my game. I don't have to wait till I get home or drag a big-ass console and a monitor to try to play this in the coffee shop, right? And so the Switch, I mean, it was the right market. You know, they knew the market. They knew where it was going. And locking down this NVIDIA mobile chip, it's just allowed Nintendo to put the game in a chokehold. Because there's a threshold for a visual fidelity to just really you know, shine and not capsize or whatever, you know, the cost of developing games. Because you see how expensive games have become for these developers. They trying to come for your pockets any way they can. They don't even respect you anymore. They expect you to spend extra money. I have to spend in $60. Okay. Battlefront 2? I mean, look how bad it got. They like, yo, we'll give you the prettiest graphics, but you're gonna pay out the nose just to play it. Like, what? That's crazy. So Nintendo realized that, and we're at a point where pretty much everything looks good, but not everybody can make a mobile and home console. Sony damn sure don't want to get their ass kicked in it again. They just don't want to deal with that problem. And Microsoft is not going to be stupid. I mean, you can't compete as it is. You're really going to try to make a handheld to try to collect a little money in this space you know you're not going to succeed. You don't even have the IP to line up to try and support the platform yourself. See, that's the advantage Nintendo has, is they can, if you're not going to support us, we can support ourselves now, you know. So nobody's going to compete with them. The only competition they're going to face is from the mobile market as far as phones or even tablets potentially. If they can get the GPU power up and another, you know, like the Snapdragon or something, along with their CPU, because they got strong CPUs, and they need to get that GPU power up, the battery life, because even playing on a mobile device, I mean, you're getting like an hour and a half at best, you know. And then, you know, get those prices down, because these phones are $600, $700, $1,000, you know. So once they can try and bring that to a reasonable price, around $450, and that means they're gonna have to cut down the visual fidelity. So like their display, like the phone or tablet will have to be centered around gaming. So it'll be like a younger audience, right? It'll be the hip device. You're not gonna get the, you know, 2K display, the super high-end camera, but you're gonna get top of the line gaming, you know, potentially, and you're gonna get battery life. You're gonna get games, and you're going to play with other platforms, because crossplay is becoming more popularized, especially in the mobile space now, with Fortnite being that premier game. So that's where I see the competition coming for the Switch. The Switch right now is crushing it. It's breaking records all over the world. It's what the U.S.'s highest selling first-year console in U.S. history. That says something. That says a lot, especially for those who thought Nintendo was out of the game. So anyway, with that said, it's been a great year for gaming. It's not been so great for the Xbox, unfortunately. You know, this year, Microsoft, man, they really should show us something big, man. They really should show us something, a game that's big, because this app service is going to be big. It's definitely going to be big. But I wish they would just show us a big game, you know, that's not a games as a service, that's just a traditional game that gamers who've been in this hobby since day one, you know, really want, you know, that we really want, you know, that's new. Or hell, even a game that we haven't had in a while, like a good old Fable. But that's good, you know, like a good Fable, not a half-assed record, you know, or a beautiful yet half-assed, I'm gonna say it, man, a half-assed Quantum Break. Man, Quantum Break, when I saw the time puzzles and dude was leaping and everything was pausing and it was moving and it was pausing, I was expecting a lot more puzzles, complex puzzles like that. That was so underdone, like it was so undercooked, you know, it was barely any of that. And when it was done, it was like, this is so easy. So the game was underwhelming to me, I'll be honest. I enjoyed it, I bought it full price, played through it, but it just wasn't, you know, there was nothing in there that was like so memorable, like, yo, that was the shit. Even Recore, great base mechanics, you know, tight controls, underwhelming environment, underwhelming story, underwhelming enemy variety, underwhelming visuals. You know, it was, and then it was like environments that you can literally see and even sneak to that weren't even finished, that were in the game, and they weren't finished for like a year. And they try to re-release the game, definitive edition. Come on, man, like, nah, man, I'm done. I don't even care anymore. Y'all don't even care, you know? So I want them to, you know, give us that quality in a game, and without any bullshit, you know, like, oh, you have to pay for this, pay for that DLC. No, just give me a game, man. Give me a game. Sony, just keep doing what you're doing. Y'all are doing good right now. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't slip up. Don't let Nintendo slip you up. You know, keep bringing your A game. You know, stick to your guns. And Nintendo, keep sticking to your guns. What Nintendo needs to do, though, This E3 for goddamn sure. Online needs to be talked about. The paid service needs to be talked about, needs to be discussed. They need to go ahead and drop the bombs when it comes to just standard shit that we need, like cloud saving. Man, let us know. Cloud saving. Come on. Quit fucking around. Don't make people feel like you're not up to snuff. You know what I'm saying? You're doing all the right things. Just bring the goods, man. Bring it now. Stop making us wait for it, you know? I think those big drops are gonna be in E3, and then of course post E3 we're gonna hear a lot more about that. But it don't need to be too far behind E3. It does not need to be too far behind E3. In fact, it needs to be E3. Like, that's where, I mean, Nintendo's gonna do well showing the games, but if they do not show some saving, because that has been an issue for gamers, losing their save files and information. That's bullshit. You don't tell me I put 300 plus hours into your games that are awesome, that I love and adore, and then sour my experience by losing it all because you don't have a backup system for me as your gamer, as a person who supported your platform. Also, Nintendo needs to show some kind of refund service, because a lot of these companies today are not having their games up to snuff. They're just half-assing their games out. I mean, Rhyme was bullshit. That was a game I was anticipating, and Rhyme came out trash. You know? So what if I'm buying a broken product, essentially? Okay? WWE 2K18, a broken product. Okay, completely broken. That's literally like I'm buying my cups and my dishes or whatever, you know, my dishware, and I take it home and I'm like, wait a minute, this shit is, or I buy it online and I get it and I'm shaking my bag, my box, and I can hear all my dishware just completely destroyed. They're like, oh, no, it's cool. We're gonna send you some, pieces, piece by piece, we'll fix your plates, and then next month, we should have your cups replaced, and then, a couple of bowls, we'll have those fixed, but just wait, we'll get to that. Like, no, motherfucker, I want my money back. So Nintendo needs to have some sort of security net for those who have invested into their platform, because so far, so good, but there's some things that are souring the experience for the Nintendo. Sony got it on lock. As far as I know, they got it on lock right now. Microsoft at least has good customer service. I can vouch for them. Their customer service is on point. They don't fuck around, with your money. They don't play. They ain't bringing the goods, but if you're not satisfied, they will return your shit. Nintendo, step your game up. I do like their reward system, though. That's pretty cool. It's straightforward. You don't have to go out of your way to look for it. I don't know what Sony has going on, but Microsoft's Xbox rewards or whatever, it's garbage, yo. It's garbage. It's all convoluted. It takes forever to update. You have to kind of go out of your way to look for it. They don't really want to reward you. It's kind of like, if you find out about it, okay, that's cool. But if you don't, man, we just making some money off of you. So anyway, I don't know if they're going to update that. I haven't even been on the platform to really even care. There's just nothing drawing me to that. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far on what's going on. I hope you guys enjoy. Tell me your thoughts. What do you guys think about the three platforms going forward? About Smash? About God of War? Do you think Smash is going to be a new game, or is it an old game? You think it's going to be a port? Or is it an in-between? Because a lot of people thinking it's a port-ish, kind of like Mario Kart Deluxe, right? They think it's kind of like that. Or Pokken Tournament, where it's a port, and it's got all the DLC, but then they're adding some new stuff on that's not in the Wii U version. So it's kind of like a port plus, if you will. So tell me what your thoughts are on that. Is God of War just a Ryse rehash? Is it just a copycat game? Is it completely ruining the franchise, changing the camera, taking the big, dual weapons away, and, him playing daddy daycare, as some people say? Is it kind of trash right now? Is it just the interactive movie? And is Xbox doing a thing with Sea of Thieves? Am I just tripping? Am I just not seeing the beauty in a game that's completely empty? I mean, literally a sandbox, with some water in it. Is it okay for after 4 years to develop a game that has nothing in it but a few fetch quests, relying on you to make up the story and find the enjoyment and not have fully modeled characters in the game, which I'm talking about the Kraken more specifically, and also charge you $60. You know, is that okay? I mean, honestly, I may be wrong. You know, you may disagree with me. Let me know. Is the Game Pass something you're excited about? Is that the future of all gaming, or is it just the future of Xbox? Is the Xbox app that's inevitably coming, is that something that you look forward to, or would you rather Microsoft stick to their guns and continue to battle it out for the next 17 years, you know? What are your thoughts on that? And what is E3 going to show us? Is E3 going to show us some big surprises from Microsoft? Is it going to show us the same crap from Sony? And is it going to be a big drop of Metroid and Pokemon and Smash, all that coming? You know, what's going to happen? Let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Freeform 64. As always, you guys keep it gaming. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that notification bell after hitting that like button and then subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed as I continue to say, until next time, peace.
PFG, bring the game.